Hello and welcome to the year 2023. I am your host, Liam Jarrett of the Aquarian TV. Let us take a look into 2023. I've talked a little bit about the numerology in the Hebrew alphabet from which the tarot is derived from. And we have a deck of the cards I made just today. Teaching myself Hebrew. That's Aleph, the first one, the magician, as above, so below, and so on. And then I have my Rider-Waite deck, the very first deck I've ever bought. And what I want this to be is just a straight up tarot reading. I say that though, but I'd be lying because I do have the chart pulled up. Because it is tied in with astrology. The Hebrew alphabet is made up of the 12 constellations of the zodiac, the elements, fire, air, and water, and earth, and the planets, the 7 visible heavenly luminaries. And that equals 22. So 2022 was the end of the game. So 22nd card, which is Tav, equals a 4. Sorry. It's Tav, which is the seal. It's the final 22nd letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And it goes with the card of the world. And its numerical value is 400. What does that all mean, Liam? Everything's been sealed already. Take that how you want in 2020. And now it's a new game. Whose game are we in? Does someone has us sealed, or are we doing the seal? This has to do with the seal of the covenant. The circumcision of the brain. The covenant that is made from God to its priest, to its people, is that when we lose our sexual energy, I know it's this easy, it's our fire, the light, which is in our sexual fluids, waters. When we misuse that and spill it out into the earth, we create this earthly stuff or lower. But when we hold that, the circumcision, you cut the tip of the penis off, it's cutting off that ejection. And instead of going out, bringing it up. And in sexual practice, that's done the most powerfully, and that brings you through the mysteries the quickest. But on your own, you could do it as a celibate, where you practice chastity to get you ready to learn how to control your semen in the seminary, to get you ready to go to the priesthood, which is when you marry. The most beautiful sacrament and symbol of God here with us, use the word God however you like, is sex. The two becoming together as one. And that's how we work that fire up between the two fully cooperating, and mind, the intellect, and with the breath too, actually. And the heart, the emotional realm. And that's how we ride that goat of Capricorn, which is where we get the fire given to us at its lowest. It's like the new fire. It's the pure baby Jesus, the light into the world that comes to us in the darkest of days, where death is seemingly victorious over the light. Now we get a chance to seal that light with our tav, which are cross. We could be sealing some bad lights. There's low lights, dark lights. Yeah. There's a dark side to light. I mean, there's something about going into the dark and slaying those demons, those fears. But there's also something about just being fucking dark and enjoying watching videos of people getting their heads kicked in, dog. The more I've been consciously studying religion, spirituality, it's one that you got to live it. I mean, and then you just have life experiences that force me to go back to it and live it better. Because it's one thing to theorize, but it's another thing to practice. I mean, we're not going to get into heaven or whatever that means by coming up with the best idea about how we are. Liam, what did you do with your life? Well, I came up with a great idea about life. And then what the fuck did you do about it? That damn thing. I was so proud of my intellect. Like, dog, when you go through a self-critique, which is what they ask you to do before you go into any initiatory process, let alone the mystery schools, and you try to look at yourself objectively, usually a night review. You know, the news channels have like a night review. You should lay down in bed. Instead of watching fucking news, probably, we should lay down in bed and do a night in review. Go through your day and say, what happened? What did I do? Not what should have I done? Make up excuses for why we did what we did. I know it forces us to go. It's tough. And that's how we have to beat down the ego, but by pointing it out. The ego is the devil. We made it up, but it's real. It's a psychological body, an entity, an emotional container with thought in it, with air in it, so it can move, and it can think, and it can speak and communicate. And the more we give that energy, then the stronger it can do all that stuff. They talk about you can make a fucking covenant with a devil. It's your own devils. We're not going to we need energy in order to move up consciously. Everything needs energy to move. When energy gets slow, it gets dense. And that's subject to decay and death. Am I wrong? This material realm is a beautiful host for us who gave us her very body that we might incarnate through her muddied waters, clay, which is what the Capricorn season is. It is earth, sign, Capricorn, into the waters of winter. Earth and water making clay. At that wheel, the crocodile Egyptian god Set was so much more than just that. Fashioned and made the first man, Geb, I think, and the girl Nut, and they were lovers. And Geb is in Earth and a male god like Kronos or Pan. And then the female god was the goddess of the heavens, and her body's cloaked, spangled with stars. Noon. How beautiful is that? And they have romance. And heaven and earth came together by the power of the Elohim, who is the planets. And who is the ruler of the planets, the Lord of Lords? El Elohim, El Adonai, Saturn, Chiron, ruler of time, the ruler of the age of Aquarius, who we're going into. Who is where they make the covenant with. Who, when you bind something, you're invoking the powers of the great binder. He binds the planets together from whence we can see until we found Uranus, which is breaking out of it. The ruler of Aquarius. Surprise! There's more than Saturn out there, and human ingenuity, some type of cooperation, inspiration, aspiration to develop the telescope. And then furthermore, astronomical measurements so that our astrologicalness can be even more better than it's ever been. I have no excuse for being not a good astrologer with all this stuff. Although sometimes all this stuff can get overwhelming. Just add another planet to the mix. Why don't you? They be treating Pluto bad. Why they be doing that to Pluto? That's all. So, yeah, that's pretty much what are we sealing in? And now 223s are breaking out of the seal of Tav. And you think I'm just making 19 is the sun card in the Hebrew tarot and in the Hebrew alphabet, which equals the 19th card. And I know I've gone over this before. And it is it's the sun card, and it's the 19th card. Another word for the sun is corona, the crown. And then 20, the 20th card of the tarot is judgment. When they put out the judgment on the world, the 21st card of the tarot. And then the 22nd is the Tav. There is no card for it in the tarot, or is there? And then we go to 23. 23 is the enigmatic number. It's the trickster. Dog, I don't like to be freaking, they're bringing it through aliens in the Hadron Collider, but dog, like time fucking There's some new age people like, I feel like we've switched timelines. Guys, this new portal, really an opportunity to switch up the timelines. And next we get the letter Nun, which comes after Mem. Mem's the waters of Scorpio. And then Nun, we receive the fire of Sagittarius through alchemical work, through the working of that fiery flame that we take with us from Sagittarius. We take it into Capricorn to light up that fire to bring us up the hill. Which is why the devil card is with the fire in the bottom. Also, he has the caduceus, because that's the light. That's the devil that we gotta slay, to grab that light, that virgin oil, turn into the sun, and rise up. You know how we get through the Saturn moon matrix? With the help of Mercury, our intellect, but not to get tricked by him. Create our solar body, turn into it. And after you create your solar body, you're creating your own universe. You become a star. That's what we're here to do. We're in a star. This star could be kind of koofy. The 19th letter is the sun card. It's called Koof. Koof. Sometimes I spell it with a Q too. And it's like a very dualistic card, the Koof. You would think the sun is like, yeah, all right, the sun is the best card in the tarot. Some people say that. But when you get that card in the 19, it's a goofy number. I mean, it could go up and it could go down. Most of the letters don't go down that far. The Kuf does. It equals the number 100. But then it's a sign of purity. Yeah, it has to do with like a purifying type thing. Because that's how we get to the sun. Bill Gates trying to black out the sun. That's like occult shit. There is also such thing as a black sun. In esoteric school traditions, they teach that the sun is just the light from the real sun, which is black. Black hole sun, won't you come? The idea of the black sun is the coolest shit, by the way. But it was part of the Nordic tradition, the symbol of the black sun. Beautiful symbolism behind it. Banished because of its association with white supremacy and in Hollywood films and not the narrative, not even a side, or just blotting out the memory of Amalek, of Esau, crumbling down Egypt, crumbling down Babylon, crumbling down Rome. Dog, they're gonna turn shit up this fucking year. I just know it. But we chose to come here for a very special reason. So we can try to fucking break out of this. We could only just do it for ourselves, but Capricorn is like, he gets the job done. Capricorn. That's why they put the sins of the nation of Israel on the goat, because it takes it to the top of the hill. And the Capricorn doesn't ask you to sacrifice, because it's that notion that without sacrifice we don't advance on the spiritual path. We don't even do it in life. Like, in order to eat, something had to sacrifice itself for us to live. Something had to die. So why is it not like that on the spiritual plane? Well, the material plane is just a manifestation of what's going on the invisible interior realm. Zamlium. This is deep as shit. I've been studying this. Oh, motherfucking day. The Emperor and the Empress together. The third card of the tarot, the Empress. The fourth card, the Emperor. Venus and Mars. Netzach Geburah is where the soul is created. With our conscious willpower taking control of the brain, that we might be able to impregnate, manifest the highest, purest, freaking, most practical, needed, brave manifestation. The 4 to the 3 gives us 7, our sacred 7. We are moving into a 7 year. 2023 numerically equals 7. 7 is the letter Zayin, which is the completed, it's the female part of the spine. It's a snake that goes up the spine of Yod, of the staff. 6, which was before the 7. For 6, it's also the number of Venus. And so I predicted, and Uranus is there, who's a great upsetter. I said, and it was squaring Saturn, who's a great binder. So restrictions on material goods for last year. Shortages. Some of that was happening about around the same time I called that. But then I called for war to come into manifestation. Being pregnant with war. Taurus, the Empress, Venus, and Earth. Because 6, Venus, she's also the goddess of war. And this would be especially war over material goods. Earthly, pleasure grabbing, Venus gone bad. Now, what's going to happen? And so then we went to war with Russia and Ukraine. Well, we have. Do I see that as? Do I see that going away or growing? Growing. Jupiter just entered into Aries. So the 19th minute of 0 degrees. That is an expansion to the Lord of War, Aries. Often popping off without fucking thinking. But we do have Chiron there, who's the wise older healer, who hopefully could help us to heal in that area. It also has to do with identification and how we've been trying to rethink and relook about how we identify. Here's the key, the Chiron key to that, is to not identify with shit, because all that is imaginary and will fucking not pass through into the nether realm. Because it's imaginary. Hi, my name is Liam. Hi, I changed my name. Does that mean what happens? Okay, hi, the person that's Liam. You get my point. It's identifying. It's our great I am. And the more we identify, the more we separate. Because it's an unhealthy individuation defaultment. Healthy individuation is feeling connected to others as ourselves. Dare I say, in the Lord Almighty. 3 plus the 4, 7. This is like completion. And another seal. That's like a seal type thing. 7's like the seal on this 6. Together they give us 4 times 3, the 12. The 12, my friends. Which gives us back to 3. Back to our sweet lady. That door, the emperor, is nothing without the freaking empress. The fire in the air can't do shit if the female doesn't let him in. What are we letting in to give birth to with this new light that is coming in for the winter solstice? Right now the sun is hit the bottom of the year. And it stops. And then in the past, it's raised. Who knows? It might not come back this time, or they might just say, fuck it, just go away. We should be like, every morning the sun's up, like, oh, fuck, thanks for hanging in there with us. Holy shit. We're so fucking ungrateful. Oh, damn. Why am I so ungrateful, dog? They say this comes from like pride. They're very closely related. And in together, as children of that, I believe getting frustrated and a lack of patience, pride, even procrastination, perhaps even anxiety. Pride. Is there a healthy time to have a pride? I was like, yeah, it would be nice to be proud in your work and proud of your... And I'm like, the more I think about it, I'm like, not really. It's not helping us. And it's fucking... In the reality of the situation, we're a bunch of fucking horrible, vicious fucking... animals. Trying to become human. That's a human race. Mars retrograde in Gemini, giving us some energy to talk about such things. Although that inner dialogue in our head, like, that be heightened. With Mars retrograde, dog, what I've been finding is as soon as the sun popped into Capricorn, all these types of authoritarian were going to war. The war isn't going anywhere. And you can see it's all stupid as shit, and no one gives a fuck. It's just a way for them to make money and to implement their New World freaking order. Look no further than China, where you have a social score if you trade money. What have they done to our freedom of speech? In astrology, they've taken it away. Have we gotten a little bit back? That does not look good. But we can be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. Let our hearts be as light as a feather, so that we don't fucking give ourselves heart attacks. And let us be in this world, but not of this world. Because we see, if you get stuck in the world, Mother Nature, God bless her for giving us life, but simultaneously she gave us death. The womb and the tomb at the same damn time. Mystic woman. Mater mediatrix, Maya. Illusion and mercy. Dharma, karma. A chance to work off our karma. By what? Just ultimately repenting. We've been doing the wrong thing. We didn't know about not fucking jerking off and watching pornography. I mean, the priest told us it, but he never told us why. Just because he's coming up with some fancy shit to control us with. Well, that's our fucking life force energy that's used to enlighten our goddamn conscious. I've been trying not to curse. Excuse me. There's a science to it. It's very practical. Science, I believe. Science even confirms that cerebral spinal fluid that goes through our spine is one with that which is surrounding our brain, feeds it, and it's our electrical, energetic body that works through that laboratory. Our Hermes, our inner Mercury. And we have to take that crude Mercury, that brute Mercury, I'm sorry, brute, not crude, and the kind of base, and then fly up the fucking staff, the Caduceus staff, working the serpents up, playing a beautiful song on your 7-stringed lyre, going out of the depths of death. Doth we get a chance to step upon that path as the sun begins its yearly journey back up the hill. I have been to the valleys. I've been to the top of the mountain. Martin Luther Jr., MLK was a Capricorn. The GOAT, the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan. Who gives a fuck about sport? I still do. Playing fantasy football league. It's time consuming, dog. Ain't nothing free. We're spending our time on shit. And I feel like they want to have us spending time on other shit that doesn't include waking up consciously to the buffoonery. Because they'd rather have my head stuck in the waiver wire to try to pick up a running back to replace my flex player who is questionable this week. I see how stupid. There's people dying of fucking hunger. Oh, the punishment is gonna be fucking bad for us. We've been given more, just given more opportunity to sin. Oh, ouch. I'm turning back to you, Lord. Have gone astray. Oh, here I am, baby. Come and take me. I just had to go through. Wasn't happy with the makeup of this whole world. The fact that we have to kill something to eat something. The fact that we have to kill something to eat something to survive, and that's how nature is something that many a man has thought about. And I don't think we even think about that anymore. Do we be? What am I talking? Shout out to my Christmas outfit. It's a little bit warmer. Dog. So Christmas. We know the allegorical, metaphorical meaning of it, mostly solar. But just because we figured that out doesn't mean that it's fictitious. Rather, there's truth to the myth because it happens within us. Every single one of us is what the story of Moses, Abraham, Jesus, Krishna, Vishnu, Shakti, Mohammed, and his 12 imams, the 12 disciples, the 12 tribes of Yisrael. The North Node will be coming out of Taurus into Aries pretty much 2024. That's just more war. I mean, every time. And then, like, I think Jupiter's gonna. Oh, man. World. Don't really want to look at astrology anymore. Turn it off. Turn it off. Because I can't control the heavens. And you know what? Whether it rains, whether it snows, whether there's a fucking meteor at my front door, what can I control? My mind. That's the devil. We want to tame it and write it in conjunction with that sexy serpent stretched out on the staff. The shin. The second to last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is that shin is fire. Resh, air, judgment. Shin is the number 300 value, and it's the 21st card, 21st letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Salvador Dali put the full card on that one. 21. That's deep. Because 21 goes to the 2 and to the 1. 12 goes from the 1 to the 2. So two ones, like you like switch around the zodiac and you go backwards on it. They teach you to do that. Once you master your birth chart, they teach you to go backwards on it. On the grand cycle of the year. That's why Pisces goes into Aquarius. Seemingly backwards to us, but that's just on the bigger clock. So which one's going backwards? Which one's going forward, I ask you? Seems like we're in a clock within a clock within a clock, each going different ways. Well, 23, the game's fucking over, my guy. 23 is kind of known as a deception. They also like to switch up the number 8 card in the tarot, which is usually associated with strength in Leo. And they switch it with the 11th card of the tarot, which is usually associated with Libra, justice. That's a good meditation as well. why they be fucking with it. No, just for the numbers. Okay, the role of Saturn as a actors. Kabbalah, mysticism, is mostly this study of numbers and getting meaning out of it. It could just be all fucking made up. What's the lesson of the story? Just because something's made up doesn't make it real. Not real. Are our emotions real? We have an emotional body. Are our thoughts real? We have an intellectual body. Air in the waters. We have a physical body, earth. Fire. We have an energetic body. Namely, it runs through our nervous system. But everywhere. Come and feel my energy. And then we have called the ether, which is, well, first, air is our ability to think, intellect, water to feel. But then, fire, where's the fire come from? They said the breath is actually behind the fire. Yod, hey, vad, hey. Yod, the head, which is Aleph, air. Yod, hey, the fire. Yod, hey, Vav, the water. Hey, the earth. That's how we bring the air to the earth, through mantras. And you want to combine mantras with sex, because the genitals are connected with the throat. The throat creates by the word. The genitals create by their own word. This is so good. No, I can see why they don't recommend you learning Kabbalah or like mysticism and occultism, esotericism before such an age. But no, I think we should do it earlier. They tell you to be full of the Torah. Of Taurus, be full of bullshit before they could teach the real shit. And then the rest of the world, and then the people who were keeping secrets, they lost the meaning of them. Although there are some lodges and stuff that do teach on the Tarot. The mystical lodges of the Golden Dawn and such things like that. And different Gnostic churches teach this truth. The person who I've come across lately, Samael on War from Latin America. He got picked up by the Rosicrucians at the age of 7 or 11. It was like, or 13. First of all, a little weird. Rosicrucians, I think they're dark lodges of that shit too. Whoever teaches that ejaculating, sex anytime, jerking off especially, that's the biggest waste. I know. I've fight pornography and masturbation, dog. I'm just coming out. I'm like a day sober now. I ain't preaching down at you. I'm like the person who goes to the AA meeting on the first day and then on the second day, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to lead my own group. I'm just being honest. Often being humble, just being honest. I laughed so I don't cry. I be having fun with y'all. I do be having fun with y'all. What did we learn from this reading? Not a damn thing, did we, Lily? Did we have fun, though? Yeah, we sure enough did. Oh, I'm hungry. I hate eating. I mean, I'll make the best of it, but it takes up time, costs money. You gotta incur some fucking karmic debt every time you do it. So the best way to do it, I sure gave it some thought, We have to be thankful for that animal or vegetation or mineral or whatever sacrificing even goddamn floor we walk on, sacrificing its life so we could live. Just one of the many zillion of examples of shit I've never been fucking grateful for. No wonder I'm a spoiled little bitch. Wow, I am talking down on myself a lot. That's reality, dog. Fucking cradle myself like a newborn little baby Jesus, though, sometimes. The other day I was talking to my cat. I'm like, I think I'm like, really nice things, you know. Like, oh, my beautiful little angel face. Like, yeah, you could. I'm like, and I found myself talking to myself like that. I'm like, you know, that was a nice break from that fucking Saturn fucking Capricorn voice. It's nice to have the opposite of that, which is that a Cancer, motherly, nurturing voice. That's the gate, Cancer and Capricorn. That axis is the gate of souls and gods. Love you guys.